Harry, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How are you feeling?
I'm really chuffed.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Does it mean a lot to you?
It does. It does. I have been nominated as a director on the shows before, but to be nominated as a director in my own category is a thrill.
What was it that drew you to Killing Eve? Was it the script?
It was the script. Well, Phoebe sent me the script, uncertain as to whether I'd like it or not, but she wasn't aware of how much I love thrillers and I love Hitchcock. You know, a cat and mouse chase can be funny, it can be dangerous, terrifying. You can have play with lots of humour and reality in it. And I adored it. I adored the character of Villanelle. I found her to be the most unique assassin that I'd ever met. And it seemed to have inherent in it this DNA of this relationship between her and this woman who was having the most unexciting life. And the idea that there was this love story that was unspoken but very real and growing. You know, it was half Nikita, half James Bond, half Sleepless in Seattle. Two people communicating over a great distance who finally find each other and who in some way meant to be together.
Once it was cast, did that really kind of excite you? Had you worked with them before, Sandra Oh or Jodie Comer or any of them?
Neither of them. Neither of them. I'd admired Sandra for years, and Jodie I always was impressed by her chameleon nature. I love the way...
And this role needs that as well, with how many different characters she almost plays within one. Yeah,
we met a lot of people for Villanelle. We must have seen tapes of well over 100, maybe 150 young women. You needed to have somebody who had real mystery and could hold back their thoughts from the audience. Because if a character gives very little away, the audience then lean forward to study what's going on in their mind.
And I think you do the opposite with Sandra's character.
Yeah.
There's so much warmth there. I wonder if there was a sequence that was particularly challenging or one that stands out that you're now very proud of.
Probably the first scene. Because
in the cafe?
The first scene in the cafe, because it's a first scene, you've never met this character before, and there are no words. We had to create a scene of complete tension and danger and humour and set up the tone of the series that was going to go on. And to do that on the first day, I'd say that was a big challenge. I was pretty nervous.
Were you? I was going to ask if if you do ever get nervous when you're filming anymore, or if you just reach that level of experience that it's kind of like, it'll be fine on the day.
I think I do have a great deal of faith that things will work out, but that also is dependent on a lot of preparation. You've got to think about what the scenes are about, what the people want, what the themes of it are. Get that straight in your head, and gradually the whole work will come into your head in enough focus that you will have a guideline, a map, if you like, in your brain as to how you shoot it. Because everything is a choice. Whether I put the camera there or I put the camera there. If I'm exploring your mind, or am I watching at a bit of distance? Am I shooting it over my shoulder, or am I coming close? If I'm coming close, then that camera wraps itself around your face. It creates a sense of presence. It's very intimate. I'm telling the audience, I'm with her. This is her story. This is her experience. It falls into, and I had noted them all down, 12 beats, 12 exchanges. I was very Stanislavskian. It's very sort of, very kind of drama school.
Yes.
You know, you look at her, you react in this way, this reaction, that reaction leads to that reaction. Every action has a consequence. Because if you think about it, it's like a shootout between the adult and the child.
Yeah.
She looks at the kid, notices that the kid is eating her ice cream, staring at her. She tries to smile, the child doesn't react. This annoys her. She looks back and sees the child looking at the ice cream seller, who smiles and enlists a beautiful grin from the child. Then you cut to her thinking, with feeling fury that screw you. She doesn't know that she's unable to really relate in the way that she should do. And so then she smiles, gives the kid a big smile, copying his exactly. And then the kid reacts with a nice smile this time. Satisfied, she gets up, gives a tip to the ice cream seller, goes over and knocks the ice cream into the little girl's lap.
It's such a good moment as well.
And I mean, that's the writing. That's Phoebe's brilliant writing. But in order to make it work, we had to shoot some camera movement that enclosed in on her. Because the other thing that we were trying to establish was one of the themes of Killing Eve as a psychological thriller, which is that Villanelle is a psychopath.
The detail of your planning there is extraordinary. I presume you can't do every single scene that detailed, or can you?
No, I don't think you'd be wise to. I think there are some scenes that have a certain job to do, like that one, which requires huge planning. But the lovely thing about planning, if you can relax enough about it, is that once you've got your plan A, then you can play around it.
Do you ever watch your work back when it's actually on the telly? Or once you've finished a job, is that kind of, it's done in the edit, I'm going to leave it now?
I do watch it back. Partly because the process of cutting is usually very painful for me, and it's very painful for Phoebe. We say that we spend the first 2 weeks taking the episode into the corner of the room and kicking the hell out of it before we then pick it up and then dust it down and tell them that we loved it after all. And Gary, the editor, who is very much a partner in our storytelling, Gary Dolner, he's very patient with us and tries the different things we want to try before we know that probably his first cut was right anyway. But
Gary.
Poor Gary. But yes, it is often a painful process putting things together. So when you can finally see it, it makes you feel pretty good.
I mean, you speak about Gary, you actually kind of managed to sneak in something. Was it in the final episode of Fleabag? There was something you put in as a little tribute to him.
Yeah, the final episode of the last series of Fleabag, we had... it was at the bus stop and awaiting a bus that never comes. And up on the sign, we gave that destination as Dolner Avenue. So, Gary Dolner.
Gary Dolner.
And that meant that everybody was in it because all of us were in the second series. In terms of, I had a cameo in episode 4. In the funeral, I'm the guy that tells her that grief really agrees with her, but I have a moustache.
That is so funny.
And Sarah Hammond, producer, is Elizabeth Sorkin, who doesn't get the prize over Kristen Scott Thomas, and says, fuck's sake. So right at the very end, in the final online, we put Gary's name up there so he could be in it too.
That's lovely. And if you were to kind of go back and give yourself advice, what bit of advice would you give yourself? What have you learnt that actually would have been really helpful to know all those years ago?
I think the planning thing, I did plan, but after a while I started to plan less, and then I got into a jam.
Oh, really?
And also, I did write, and I'm glad I wrote. I'm very pleased about that, because though I never wrote anything that set the world on fire, I learnt a lot about structure, about principles. I mean, not rules of storytelling in film, but principles. They are your great friends.